Today our topic is how to start with React. Like we might have heard React can be integrated with Drupal and we can use it as a front end or we can use it for the page building. So this is one of the small start for it. So we are going to start with React uh, really quick. So this is a presentation starts here. So what is in React? Like we have already heard that React is a declarative, efficient, flexible JavaScript library. Uh, so here we used to build page components, things, everything as a small component, like isolated components, so that whatever the flow inside a component, for example, if we are creating a form, a button is a component, input tag is a component, and the form is a like those are all like small components. We are just building everything as a small isolated component. So we will be having more control over each components, right? Like each molecules, each atom. So this is kind of a like JavaScript library. So we are making use of it to build flexible UI. So yeah, so how React is getting built. So if any front-end people hear of pattern lab, so it is the same pattern. For example, for building a page, we are going to create atoms first. Atoms is nothing but like a button or a small anchor tag kind of thing. So basically atoms, after that molecules. So molecules is like a little higher component of the button. So we will build some other like higher component inside that. So we can call the button, like import the button inside the molecule. So in the same way, we will be having this hierarchy to create a page, right? So this is similar to pattern lab. So if front-end people can understand it little more clear then. So in React, we have a pattern like for a native React, we have a pattern to create an HTML element. So this is the pattern. For example, this is a variable we are going to create a h1 tag. So this is how normally a React HTML component will be created based on React. So this is a function to pass what is the element that we are going to create and what is the string it going to have and what is the classes. So this is little complex for the people who are currently developing sites right now. So as you see, this is not a user friendly or like developer friendly context like syntax. We are going to create n number of components like, but having this little complex syntax uh, will make the process as a difficult one. So what we are going to do is we are in all the React community, we are going to use a JSX format. JSX. So anyone knows what is JSX? JSX format? Yeah. So basically, XML is an user-friendly syntax. So in all the different development environments that we are using XML. So this is one of the JavaScript XML. So if we so here JSX is a JavaScript XML. So which allows you to write HTML. So easily like user-friendly manner. For example, if you are going to write HTML with class name and other stuff, we are going to create it in this way. So we are just creating a h1 tag and class name here because we are not going to give class like real HTML here, right? So we are using some format which is XML. So for here, we will have some like predefined manners. For example, for classes, we used to call it as class name. So inside this class name, if you're going to give multiple classes, it should be in a set bracket like JSON format here inside it. So multiple classes will be given in the JSON format so that after the compilation, the JS will have the proper HTML, the front end. So basically, JSX makes it easier to write and add HTML in React. So that is why JSX. And this JSX format we can write easily, but when it is comes to browser, so JSX is not the right way that browser can identify. So we are going to compile it in between. So once we write all the HTMLs in this way, and once it is done, we will be compiling it to a normal JavaScript pattern, and then it will be served to browser. So that is what basically React is like. we will be having the React syntax, and the React syntax will be in the format of JSX. So after that, we will be compiling the JSX to normal JavaScript. So the JavaScript will be served to browser. So that is the all process to get the React in browser. So after that, if you see the difference between a React and a JavaScript, normally what we will do is like we will create an HTML in a separate template. As you see, like we will be creating templates with elements, buttons, and other stuff. So once you created the HTML, the respective functionality we will be writing it in a separate JS file. So we will be targeting the element and we will be writing what action should be done here as a separate JavaScript file. So right now, so this React facilitates that we will be writing all the things in a single file. For example, the button will be here and regarding action on click can be written here. So in all the functions like event listening, and we can even include Drupal behaviors inside the React files like JSX files. So this is how React gives you like more flexibility over the components, because if we have this type of format, we will be like once you get to the button, like you will be searching for the JS file where the actions are written and other stuff. So that will be facilitated here. So you can easily, quickly debug or quickly develop things based on the React.js. So that is one thing. So here this button, what it will do is like on click, you will be getting a console log in the browser console as clicked. So same functionality written here. So this is React, this is JavaScript. And once you get into React, so inside the React, we will have two formats of data, right? Two forms of data. One is props and another one is state. So for example, if you go to props, so props is nothing but you can pass it inside the component, that React component, like from external to the React component. For example, if we have a parent, we have a child. So to pass a variable from parent to child, like you are importing a child component inside it, you have to pass some data into the child component. So basically, we are passing it through props. So the props can be accessed inside the child, and we can manipulate according to it. So state is a form of data which will be only available inside the component. Like it can be changed by actions. Like for example, if you are having a variable state variable, you want to change it according to the actions happening inside the component, it can be changed. So for example, state dot text is there, so the text can be changed, like wherever you want to do some actions, wherever you want to update the text value, you can do it. But the props cannot be changed because it is passed from the parent. Like for example, it is passed from the parent one, so you can't change it inside the child component. So one and only if the parent component is getting changed and it is again sent to the child component, so this can be like adjusted, and the child component will get adjusted according to the props, prop prop datas. So this is how, like normally the variables will be, like the data will be carried over inside the React component. So there are two ways, as you see, props and state. So next to that, like how we are going to integrate it into the group Drupal, your Drupal application or whatever. So as simple as that, we will create modules like a normal custom module. So as you know, to create a custom module, we will have an info file. So just I am going to create some sample info file here, React module and questions based on the requirement. And uh, this is like React file. So we are going to create a HTML markup in the React. So h1 tag, which is hello there world. So that will be printed in the React app ID. For example, it will search DOM element for ID React app. It will print this particular markup inside the element. So this is the file that we have created, and this is the model that we have created. Inside this model, we will follow some pattern, like it's a React model. So inside that JSSRC index.jsx, as we previously discussed, we will be writing things in JSX format. So we are creating files in the JSX format. In future, it can be created as a JS. Like you can directly write JSX format files in the JS, and you can do some compilation, compilation based on that. Like basically you can avoid the .jsx extension and you can write codes in the .js files itself. So that can be done. And so this is the file we have created. Okay. So right now we are going to do some like in between component, like how React and Drupal communicate. So that thing we will be doing right now. So yeah, so to get this JSX like index.jsx to be accessed by Drupal and make it work, so we will be having some tool chain. For example, the front-end people, like you already know that we will be writing some SAS and other stuffs, and we will be compiling it to the browser readable and Drupal accessible format of files. So basically we will write it here, and some compilation process we have to get it done. So for that we will be bundling all the files. Like for example, if we are here, we are importing something from core React, something from DOM React, and everything has to be pulled over in this particular bundled JS, like bundled file. So the all the requirements, all the dependencies will be compiled to a single file, so that that file can be used from Drupal. So for that, there are basic steps. So we can have some in like JavaScript, like a node npm that has to be installed. So the basic step is the install React, Webpack, and Babel. So React is nothing but a JavaScript library, and to install all these things, we should have the node and npm ready in your development environment. So this is some commands to get the React installed and Babel installed. So Babel and Webpack is nothing but it's a compiler basically. So Babel is a compiler, like, community used compiler. For example, all the React community people are using Babel as a compiler right now. So it is a like best compiler for JSX compiling right now. So and we are using it to compile the JSX files, right? So two is we have to configure the Webpack. So Webpack configure file, we have to create it, create a Webpack config file. So what we are going to give is we are going to give the path of the JSX file. So which we have written here. So this is written under JS, SRC and index.jsx. So we will be giving that file path here, and some configurations or major configurations are here. So this will differ based on environments we are going to face. So if you like read something detailed in this Webpack configuration, you will get to know what can be done here. And the output path. So output path is like after compilation, what should be the path? So that will be under JS TIST. So everything will be under the same module that we have created. So under that, this particular file name will be created. For example, uh, this is the main entry, right? So entry is main. So this main is the name of the particular file. So after compilation, main.js will be created. So this is the path we have to give, and this is the file name. So based on that, it will create a compiler JavaScript file. So these are the loaders that we are gonna use. So as we installed it previously, so that will be used to over here. So after creating this webpack.config.js, which is under the React module directly. Okay. So now third step is like we have to use the Babel, like Babel configuration to um, for the React compilation. So this is some presets which is available, like readily available to start the compiling the React. So that will be created as a separate file here inside the modules and React. You have to create this one babel.babel.rc. So after creating this file, so basically these presets will be used while compiling. So how to compile it, like basically. So whenever we used to compile, the script should be here, like inside the package.json. So which is the base file for the npm. So base file like npm. Whenever we run npm install, whenever we run npm any action, so that will refer the package.json. So here we are going to give some scripts. So build. So this build will refer the webpack config, and then it will compile the webpack config file, and it will compile based on this one. So this will be written in the this should be added in the package.json. So once this is added, so we are ready, like we are ready to compile the file. So what we are going to do is, so there are three steps. We need some applications like some npm packages to get the React compiled. So now this file will be compiled to a normal JavaScript file. So once we are ready with the scripts and scripts configured added in the package.json, we are ready to run the npm run build. So which will basically compiles, and the JavaScript file will be created under the JSSRC dist as we mentioned it in the webpack.js, webpackconfig.js. So yeah, so we created a JavaScript file. So then it is comes to an usual usage. So JavaScript file can be added as a Drupal asset. You know that like Drupal assets can be created as a created in the libraries.yml. So we know the path of the JavaScript file so that we are creating it as a library React app. So this is the naming conventions that you know. And the JS file path will be dist main.main.js. So once you compile it, this JS will not be updated until you compile it again with your new changes. So that's what. So now this Drupal asset is created. So now you are all ready. You are ready to create some React components, right? So the basic thing you have to do is like you require here is basically this React component is addressing for this targeted DOM element. So you have to create this DOM element in your Drupal, and you have to attach this JavaScript that we have compiled it from the React. So basically this React will search for the DOM element and pitches whatever inside the React React code. So there is an example that I can show it in my system. So uh, before that I will show you. So this is the one. So as we see, so the index, so this is the React model I have created. So inside that the package.json will be there and the script is getting added here. So every npm packages I have installed inside the same React model. So go to the path, go to the path of the model, so which is here. From your doc root, go to modules. So you can create whatever the model name is. So inside that every npm action will be carried over. So now what I have done is, so to get this done, like for example, I should have a DOM ready, like DOM element ready there, and I have to attach the Drupal library. So that can be done in many other several ways. I used to create a block, as you see. So there is a block I have created, normal block, like a SASE plugin block. Inside that block, I have a HTML markup created, like ID is React app, so which is we are targeting from the React file, and the library is which we have created through the compiled file, right? So this is the compiled file. So this library we are attaching to the React block. So this is this is the one. Hello Smegway, this is a React component. If you see, so the block which I have created, so I placed it in the sidebar of the particular theme. So which you can see it here. This hello specby is a React component as far as we see, right? So once you started it, so you can have n number of React packages installed. For example, I installed something from React repositories, so and it can be used over here. For example, so this is a normal markup that we are serving it from the React file. Instead of that we can have React component or React bounds. So React bounds is another component that I have created here. So that can be called parent. So here just the bounds is a React package that I have installed, and imported from the React animations. So installing the React animation is like simple. You just run npm install so React animation. So this is a package. So you will get all the packages from the React community, and you can like npm.js packages, and you can have some readme file over there. So the using those instructions, you can easily input it in your React components. So these are the readmes that they have provided, and this is the React animations package. So the React animation package is having some lot of uh, complex libraries and other stuff. We can use it for our development. So right now, just what I have done is I'm just created a text inside this particular bounds. So whenever you import a package, like import a component from a library, so directly we can use it here as a component. For example, this is the constant that I have created, bounds. Inside that bounds, there is a h1 tag of hello animation. So this is exported as, so basically once you create a component, okay, so this is, we extend a React component here. So and it should be exported. So once it is exported, you can import it in your other file. For example, this is import, right? So importing the React bounds. So whatever the name that naming convention that we are using it in the child component, we have to use that in the import section. So like we do it in the Drupal as namespace. So the same way we are following it here. So once this React bounds is there, just I'm using that. Okay, so once the change is done, I'm going to compile it. So once compilation is done, so this index.js, whatever the changes we have done it in the index.jsx will be compiled to your dist folder as a main.main.js, right? If you see, this is a JS file. So all the dependencies, all the imported libraries will be called upon here. And if you see this updates at what we have done. So instead of that hello stack, we should have the bouncing text, right? So this is all about creating a React component and using some npm packages. Using that, we can include any animations that we have to implement. And there are a number of packages, a number of functionalities is available in the npm.js.org, like.com. So you can use it like Drupal.org. And other than that, so whenever we speak about the variables, the data that we are going to use inside the React component, so which is props and state. I have an example for it. So props. So basically, this is a React component, right? So this is one component I have created, React comp. So this component is having props here and state variable here. Right. So props is basically what we have discussed is like it is passed from the parent component inside this component, which is not can be changed and which is not can be manipulated. And this is a state variable. This state variable we can mention in format this dot state, as we do it in the as oops concept, like everything should be under this. So inside this dot state, it can be changed anywhere and everywhere inside this component. And for example, the render is a function where you will be having the HTML and other stuff. So in this render, what I have done is I have created a button. In this button, on click, there is a function I have called. This is the HTML. Inside this toggle text function, I have done something like if the text is this pros, for example, inside this HTML, there is a text. So it can be passed from parent, right? So in this render function, I am taking the props value. Inside this prop, text will be there. This text is initially constructed as HTML here. Okay. After that, whenever we click on that, okay, so it will check the props, like it will check the value. If it is a props text, we will change it to the state text. If you see, I will just explain. So instead of this, I can have React comp. So this is the component that we are using it from this one. So this is a text. So how we are sending parameters to the child. So we are sending as a text attribute, right? So love Drupal is the text that I am sending from parent. If you see inside the React component, which is taken from the props, this variable, and set it in the HTML form. Just I am compiling it. If you see, yeah. So this is a button. So love Drupal is the one which we have sent it from the parent component. So it can be changed over here by on clicking, like toggling. You see, so once I click it, this is a state variable. Once I click it, this is a prop variable. So we are getting it from the parent. Yeah. So that's how we can make use of the React.js in a very quick manner. After that, we can build a number of things. So basically, why we are going to React is, so we will be having the parent HTML constructed at the first. For example, as you see the Facebooks and other stuff. So every small components will be that the parent HTML will be loaded. After that, inside the things will be loaded later. So that is main advantage of React. So once the parent HTML markup will be created, after that inside we can call various APIs and create components whenever it is coming, like whenever it is served from the other API. So until that, the page will be loaded at the first and React components will load slowly. So user can think that page is loaded fast. So as far as, thank you, I have just said all the things that I had. If you have any queries, you can pitch in.
Hi guys, thank you for watching. I had an amazing time learning all the new things here at SpecBees TechX. And if you did too, do let us know in the comments below. Keep following SpecBee for the latest trends in technology. See you in the next one.